My name is Yasser Zarug. I'm excited to share my testimony with you guys. So, I grew up in Minnesota. I had a pretty good life, middle class family. I had a lot of friends. I played sports growing up. I played varsity basketball. I was homecoming king, prom king. And then after high school, I ended up going to college at St. Thomas Aquinas, a private Catholic school in Minnesota. And I played basketball there. After college, I graduated in 4 years. I got a good job out in Arizona working at Yelp, and I started there, did well, got promoted, and ended up becoming a sales manager. And life was going good. I had everything that I wanted. I had a car, I had an apartment, I had a lot of friends. I was making really good money. But as I was getting more into the world and doing everything that I wanted to, I started losing control of things. I was drinking a lot, I was partying a lot, and pretty soon my drinking was getting out of control to where I was missing work. I couldn't be around people. All I wanted to do was drink, and I eventually quit my job at Yelp and moved back to Minnesota to be back with my family to try to get help and go to rehab and try to change everything and start over just in my life. And after doing that for a couple months, things were going better. I got sober again, and I got my own apartment. I got a new car, and I was about 6 months sober. And then July 4th, I relapsed and started drinking again, and things spiraled out of control really bad, to where I was getting really depressed. I stopped showing up to work, and one day I just couldn't take it anymore. So I literally packed up what I could in my car and drove out to California. I don't know why I drove to California, to be honest. I didn't have any friends there, really. I don't have any family here. So I drove out to California, and I was just drunk the whole time. I finally got to California, and I had some money saved up, so I was like, I'll stay in a hotel for a while. I'll sober up, and I'll get a job. I'll figure my life out. But that went for about 2 months, and eventually I ran out of money. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, what? I have a car, so I can sleep in that. That's going to be no problem for me. So I ended up sleeping in my car for a little while, and then during the day, I would go out in the streets of California, ask people for money, panhandle, just so I could buy alcohol. My addiction was so bad that I didn't care about anything besides just getting drunk, so I didn't have to go through the withdrawals. And that was my plan. I couldn't think of anything else. And then one day I was coming back to my car, and it was gone. I was like, where the heck's my car? And then after I sat down and thought about it, I was like, okay, I haven't paid my bill in a while. And it got repoed, so it was taken. So then now I'm in California, no family, no friends, no money. I had a backpack, a pair of shoes, and some clothes. That's about it. And I didn't know what to do, so I was like, I will find a place to sleep outside. I'll get sober, I'll get a part-time job, that way I can afford a hotel until I get back on my feet. So I was doing that, and one day turned into two turned into a week turned into a month, and next thing you know, I'm homeless, badly addicted to alcohol, dirty, was digging in trash cans for food, and all I was doing was just trying to get that fix of being able to drink. And I was sleeping behind someone's house in these bushes for about 6 months, and then all I would do is just go panhandle and beg people for money just so I could buy alcohol. And after a while, I started getting really depressed, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I got a bunch of pills, and I swallowed them one day with a bunch of alcohol. And I was like, I'm going to end my life. I can't live like this anymore. This isn't worth it. And so I was planning on dying. And the next morning, I woke up. My head hurt, my body hurt, my stomach hurt. And I was just so mad that I couldn't even calm myself. I couldn't even do that right. So I'm getting mad. I'm like, God, what do you want from me? I can't live like this. I can't do this anymore. But instead of quitting drinking or doing anything like that, I just said, I'll just figure it out. I kept drinking, and when I'd be passed out on the streets or sitting there begging for change, I'd have some people come and pray for me, and they'd be like, hey, Jesus loves you, and all of this. And at the time, I wasn't really listening. I was like, okay, if they give me money, I'll let them pray for me, whatever. It didn't really mean much to me because I'd always kind of believed in God, but not in that way. I always thought that there might be a God or something, but I thought I was in control of my life. I thought I did everything, and everything that I got, all my success, and everything was from me. I didn't put it in God's hands. And then, this continued on for a few more months. So at this point, I've been homeless for almost a year. I'm sleeping out in California. I'm super, super depressed. So I figured, I'll try to kill myself again. So I got a bunch of pills again, swallowed them, and I passed out. And I don't remember anything except for the cops waking up over me and saying, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on?" And they could see a bunch of pills around me. They saw some alcohol. And they're like, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" And you know what? I finally broke down and told them what was going on in my life. And they ended up checking me into a hospital where, I was able to get some help. I stayed there the first time for 3 days, got sober, felt good. And this was right after my 30th birthday. So after those 3 days, they let me go. I literally walked out of there and walked straight to a liquor store because my body felt good again. I was like, I'll just get drunk, figure my life out. I got out on like a Thursday. By that Sunday, I was back in a different hospital. And this time I was in there for 14 days. And after the 14 days, I was feeling good. I started, kind of thinking a little more clearly, thinking about what I want to do with my life, thinking maybe I really should turn to God and ask Him what He wants from me. And on the 14th day, when they're getting ready to release me, they're like, "Hey, we know you don't have anywhere to go. Would you be interested in going to a homeless shelter?" And at the time, I was like, "Oh man, a homeless shelter? That's so below me, right? Like, what am I thinking?" But then I think it might have been God just being like, "This is me reaching out to give you help. This is the first step in rebuilding your life and getting everything back to where I want to be." And so I couldn't go back into the streets because I knew I would either kill myself or someone else would kill me if I went back to the streets. So I decided to go to the shelter. It was the Salvation Army in Bell Gardens, and I was at the shelter. I was sober for about 3 months or 2 or 3 months, and I was thinking like, hey, I want to start going to church again. I was reading my Bible, so I took out my phone. I googled churches near me, and where the shelter was located, there was 2 churches, His Life City Church and a different one, and they were both about a mile or so apart. So I said, I'll pick one, try it out this weekend. If it doesn't work out, I'll pick the other one and go to that one next weekend. So I went, and I liked it. I came in, people welcomed me, people hugged me. They're like, welcome. They opened doors right in, and it went really good. I thought this is amazing. It felt amazing, but I was still a little hesitant. So I was like, I'll try it again next week and see if they're this friendly, or if it just because I was new. So same thing. They're really friendly. I'll go and ask me about myself, what I do, and all that. And at the time, I was hiding from everyone that I was homeless, so I'd interact. But then, right when church would be done, I'd leave. And I continued going to church for about 3 more months, and I really noticed God doing a work in me. Mary at the church asked me if I wanted to join a home group. So I didn't really know what it was, and I didn't want to, but I was interested because I was not used to, it had been so long since I hung out with people that I wanted to see what it was like to put myself around good Jesus following people. So I did it, and as I continued to go to church and I continued to go to my home group, God was really telling me, like, focus on me today and I'll take care of your tomorrow. So that's what I did. I just focused on God and forgot about getting a job and all that. And then a few months passed, and I ended up getting a job managing a sales team at a really good company, making good money. Ended up getting a new car. I ended up last December moving into my own apartment in Santa Ana, right by where I work, and getting my life back together. And all of it really just came down to, as soon as I put my focus on God and forgot about the outside world, He not only gave me everything that I needed, but He gave me so much more. And now I'm in a position in life where I'm so blessed because of Him, and I feel like everything that I went through was on purpose by Him, because He needed to break down my foundation, because it was built on such bad things. It was built on the world, And as soon as He broke that down, He was able to rebuild me up and make me the man of God that I am today. And because of Him, I was able to launch my own company that I've been interested in, and I launched Victorious Clothing, where it's a clothing brand that just talks about God and my story and what I've been through, and just really trying to empower the people. And that's going amazing. And I look back at where I was when I was homeless, and I was so hopeless and so lost, and I thought my life was done. There was no coming back from this. But it just shows that anything's possible through God's grace, and what the enemy really does try to do, make evil, God turns it into good. And I'm standing here today telling you that God is so good, and I hope that everyone just truly digs in and talks to him and asks him about what they need, because he is there and he's always loving. But I'm glad I got to share my story with you guys, and check out Victoria's Clothing. Thank you guys.